My name is Douglas Burleson. My rank was Sonar Technician 2, E5. That was we were spent submerged about 37 days, 37 days. And when we came back in, we finished our cruise there. We came back into Hong Kong again, and this boat was just covered with moss and seaweed like this, but there was 3 daughters and 1 mother out there, and it was Christmas. This was Christmas time. It was cold, and they said they would take and wash that complete boat, get out there and scribble with brushes from the water to the top of the ladder line, and just for our garbage. So they got out there and they had that boat clean. You couldn't have got 1,000 sailors to do it in 6 months, what they did in a couple of days. Through that part, we went back over towards Gulf of Tonkin again, and one day, kind of a scary moment, all of a sudden one evening we found ourselves about half a mile inside of a minefield, and there was a lot of really nervous people around, and what we were trying to do is back out of this thing just exactly the way we came in. You'd hear the cables sometimes going hit the hull. But we finally got ourselves out of that, so that was another harrowing moment. When we finally left Hong Kong the last time, we got caught in a typhoon, and this lasted about 2.5 days. We were on the surface at the time, and during a violent storm like this, you can't submerge the boat, because at one point when the boat is big, and when you go from the surface or to dive or surface again, the boat will hit center of gravity, and when that point beaches, it can flip. So basically, whatever you're on, you will stay there. So we rode this, but we couldn't station a topside watch because there was much water coming in. We had to shut the conning tower hatch. We had the scope raised, and this gives you about 62 feet above the water line, and waves were still breaking over that. We were literally the boat would be rolling 40 degrees. You'd be almost walking on the walls. And you'd have to get in your bunk, and the thing, you just kind of wedge yourself in so you wouldn't fall out. I used to go down in Sonar, and I'd kind of get my chair and wedge me up against it to keep from rocking and rolling all this. So that storm finally got over, and that was rather hair-raising. We went back, I think we went to the Philippines for a little bit of time, and then we came back to Pearl Harbor, and the boat was, at that time there, it became a part of a movie on Tora Tora Tora, and it's got the scene of it's tied up to the pier, and there's an aircraft, while the Japanese Zeros are coming in making a strafing run, and you'll see basically from the sail back to the stern of the boat, the bullets got to go in there. They had them all set up, and a couple of sailors diving over the edge. Well, that was the Spinax. So that was our stardom. We got back to, at that time there, then we left there. We came back to the States, and that was a happy day for me because my wife had a child, and I hadn't seen him before. But when we got there, the meeting on that was quite wonderful. The camaraderie we had with this group, and the crew on the Spinax was just far out, way the other ship I had at all. And it was a family. That's it all, just very shortly. And I enjoyed that, being with them. We went through, a lot of fun times. We went through some scary parts of it, but all in all, that part was what I missed the most, and I enjoyed. And at that time there, about 2 weeks later, I was up for discharge. I went to when you got off the ship, went to that point, when they come up and they tell you this is you've got more, say for what you want to do if you'll stay in. At the time there was a nice shipping over bonus available, and they said, you name it, whatever shore duty you want, what do you want, we'll get it for you. So I said, great. So I talked to my wife about it. I said, I might, could make a career and go on. So told the guy, I said, if you'll give me 2 years shore duty in Europe, and I'd take a B school, and then I'd go out and ride the boomers for another couple of years. I'd stay in. Well, he said, no problem at all. So he come back here the next day and he said, well, I can get you duty in Newfoundland or Guantanamo Bay. And I kind of went, no. But the duty at that point in time, it was just, I didn't want to take, especially Gitmo is just, you know, you're in a prison basically. It was down there and you had a little spot in Cuba and there was no place for and I didn't want to leave the family. And the environmental, you know, up in Newfoundland, I gather it wasn't too bad the way people say, but it just, I wanted to get back, you know, just, but it's one point in time I was almost like, damn, if I go back, you know, it sounded good. But once I got out there, and I really, when I got out of the service, I felt kind of lost because I'd been so close to this family on the Spinax for so long. And all of a sudden I'm walking out of I'd signed the notes off and I'm Joe Civilian. And it was like, I don't have a home anymore. So that really hit you hard. There's no place to go tonight and I'm not gonna get guaranteed a meal and that, and just the camaraderie of the guys on board the boat. That was the hardest part. I was discharged, and this was the latter part of 1966. And I had an offer to go to Ryan Aircraft to work there, and we talked in here, and I really kind of, they offered some really good money, but everything's government contract and it's very on-off. So I decided we moved up to Seattle, and I worked at got a job there in the data processing. Finished up high school at the University of Washington, and that's kind of about it on the civilian part.